Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting. Including today, we dive even deeper into AT&T selling DirecTV and then DirecTV buying Dish. AT&T just lost over $30 billion. What's happening there? Why is it happening? We're going to dive a little deeper, let you know what's happening with it. Amazon Freevee is adding some new channels. Maybe the rumors of their death, premature. And Friendly TV, maybe by the time you watch this, may have lost one of its most popular channels. We'll tell you what's happening there. With that said, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, you can find them in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself. I'd love to hear from you what you think. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up. We do a video like this every Monday through Friday with reviews, how-to guides, and a whole lot more here. Hitting subscribe or hitting that thumbs up lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so they recommend our videos to more people. With that said, let's dive into it. So we did a breaking news video on this yesterday. It broke very early in the day in a predictable series of events with one shock. The first shock was that AT&T sold its remaining shares of DirecTV. DirecTV was purchased by AT&T in 2015 for a combined $67 billion. That includes all the debt they absorbed purchasing DirecTV, and plus the base price of it. Now they've sold it and lost, or they sold it for combined all the revenue they're going to get about $34.2 billion, resulting in a staggering $32.8 billion loss versus their initial payment into it. This is basically AT&T just saying they don't have faith in the future of television to the point where they're willing to just cash out, be done with this. They found an interesting buyer, they want done. So they're selling everything off here to be done with cable TV. To the point where they're willing to take a $32.8 billion write-off and losses. Now, some of those payments will be spread out between now and the next few years as they will slowly get the money. Also, the deal is not expected to close until the end of sometime in the fourth quarter of 2025 for any of this. As soon as that was done, about an hour later, the new DirecTV, as once again an independent company owned by TPG Investments, announced a deal to buy Dish Network and Sling TV for $1 plus all their debt. Okay, why? Well, like I said, AT&T clearly does not see a future in this. When they bought DirecTV, it was kind of at the peak of subscriber numbers. And at that point in 2025, cord cutting was still widely seen as something that was probably not going to go anywhere major, that cable was still, king. But yeah, that maybe some people, maybe we see like 20% of people who don't want to watch TV. There's always been a segment of people who always did not pay for cable TV and use other methods like an antenna or VHS, later DVD and the like. Just this was one more way to do that. I've said this as recently as 2019, many cable executives still brushed off the idea of cord cutting, didn't take it seriously, and thought they would still find a way forward to even reverse cord cutting and drag a lot of people back. Well, we now know in 2014 that's not happening and probably won't happen, to be honest with you. And now AT&T wants out. AT&T had hoped that they would be able to combine the DirecTV and Time Warner into its wireless plans to attract even more people to its wireless plans, lock its wireless customers into TV plans, and create this ecosystem. That never worked out well either. So it's interesting to see how this plays out. Clearly, DirecTV is still struggling. In their press conference, DirecTV and Dish announced that they have combinedly lost 63% of their subscribers since 2016. Now that's important because that's going to be a big part of their argument why they need to do this. Much like SiriusXM, when they merged together to create one company, it was deemed to be unsustainable to continue to operate as two independent companies, and that's the deal here. They also believe that there's now competition where there once was not. With the growth of high-speed internet in more rural areas, YouTube TV, Sling, Fubo, Hulu, and the like all offering live TV competition, you can see why they're saying, hey, this idea of us being a monopoly is not what it once was. The two combined companies are now only having about 20 million. It was not long ago that number would have been significantly higher. It does not put them that much larger than Comcast and Spectrum, who are smaller but not dramatically so. So we'll see what happens here. It is a massive change here, one that's been talked about for many years. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for cord cutting, this deal would never happen. Dish is being forced to sell, in short, because they are facing bankruptcy. If this deal does not go forward, they're going to be in bankruptcy. And with this deal, DirecTV has agreed to pay their $2 billion November debt payment. Dish only has about $500 million in total cash on hand. Couldn't pay that almost $2 billion debt payment coming up. That would have forced them into bankruptcy in a world where getting out of that would have probably been very difficult for them. You asked me 5 years ago, I would have thought Dish would have bought DirecTV. But it didn't work that way. Really, all this comes down to is one thing. Cable TV is basically dead. AT&T thinks it's so dead that it doesn't want anything to do with it. It sold out Time Warner, it sold out DirecTV after making a big play in there. They looked at it and said, this was a mistake. One that we're willing to write off and move on. These two companies are saying, we can't survive on our own. We need this deal to survive, or we're just going to end up in bankruptcy sooner than we expect. So we'll see what happens. But cable TV, it's effectively dead. We'll keep an eye on it. All right. Amazon Freevee, their ad-supported streaming service that's been long rumored to be shutting down, keeps just kind of quietly ticking along. Now they've struck a deal with A&E Networks to add 5 new channels to their service, most of them going live in October 1st. So today when you're watching this, link in the show notes if you want to see all the new channels coming there. Friendly TV could lose later today, or maybe by the time you're watching this. Great American Family Television, or GAF. This is one of the most popular channels there. They're in a contract fight. Of course, Friendly or Great American Family knows that Friendly TV's viewers really love what they have, so they're demanding more money. Friendly is known for being a cheap discount TV service, so they obviously don't want to pay a ton more. We'll have full coverage when or if it happens. Both companies have not replied to our emails for comment on this. Usually means that they hope something will work out, that they don't want to get into a public fight about this as they're trying to reach a last-minute deal. Amazon Prime Video looking to get into news. Our next story up, Amazon is reportedly talking about launching an election night special with Brian Williams. You may remember him from NBC News and then later MSNBC. He may be returning to news on Amazon. Now, what I've been told is Amazon's not looking to launch a 24/7 news network or even a nightly program right now. This is an attempt to test the waters as Amazon looks for more live events to have coverage. They would have a political panel and live coverage of the primary election, probably pulling heavily from the Washington Post, which is also owned by the same owner as Amazon. Now, if successful, what I'm told, this could lead to more such special events. You can see them doing more and more news programming. Who knows? Maybe even a nightly news if they think it's successful. Why? Well, in short, these live programs drive high amount of viewership. Advertisers like live events because viewers are more likely to actually see the ads, not click away on a streaming service, and not fast forward through them on a DVR recording. So this is mostly about Amazon playing into advertising revenue with it. We'll see what happens with that. But Amazon Prime Video looking to get into news. Again, I think this is just a dipping the toes in situation. If they do it, if it goes well, you'll see more. If it doesn't, maybe they don't do it again. We'll see how that plays out. They may try it a few times, though, before they decide if they want to move forward or not. Hey, it's the start of a new month. We have a ton of content coming to a bunch of streaming services. We got full breakdowns of what's new in Netflix, Max, Hulu, and others over at corecarsnews.com. You can find everything you need there. Huge welcome. Over the weekend, we added quite hundreds and hundreds of subscribers. In the last month, we've added about 5,000 subscribers in September. I know I talked about this yesterday, but huge welcome to you all here. I've been covering the world of cord cutting now for over 10 years. It's hard to believe. It's great to be here. It's great to have all of you here. We're on our way. You know, I'd love to see 300,000 by the end of the year. That's a little aggressive. I bet right now we're on track for very early next year, but who knows? Share this with your friends. Let us know. If you have a question you'd like me to answer in this week's Cord Cutting Q&A, I will post a link in the community tab. If you go to the Cord Cutters News YouTube page, check out the community tab. I have a post there asking for questions for this week's video. Leave me a question. Let me know. I'd love to answer your questions about anything happening in the world of cord cutting right now. Maybe you have a question about the DirecTV Dish merger, AT&T selling off, the death of cable, and a whole lot more. With that said, take care. Be safe. Have a great day, everybody. And thank you so much for your support. Take care, everyone.